Now here's an episode Vic would love. Hey Vic, how do you feel about weapons?
Oh, I love them! Swords, explosives, and giant clubs with spikes on them.
Those things are a bit heavy, so we're going with something a bit lighter. Guns.
Scout and Tracer, the two speedy gunslingers of colorful first-person shooters.
Who has the quickest feet and sharpest aim?
This is Fictional Fights!
Born in Boston and the youngest of 8 brothers, it makes you wonder how he made it out alive.
Well, he must have had a death wish because the Scout quite enjoyed getting in the middle of the smackdowns that would happen in the family.
However, because he was the youngest, fights would often end before he could get a chance to throw in any hits.
So the little man trained himself to run, like, really fast. He was determined to be the first one to the fray.
Scout was never one to run away from a scrap, and his speed would soon help the future team he would join.
However, the team didn't specialize too heavily on fists, and they equipped Scout with some fancy gear, mainly guns.
The Scout's weapons are very unique. Not only do they fire deadly bullets, but some even aid him physically.
When you already have bullet speed, reaction times, and double jumping, it's never a bad thing to ask for more.
His weapon of choice is the scattergun. He has many of them, and one called the soda popper can give him up to 5 additional jumps.
The backscatter does extra damage to opponents when they're hit from behind.
And the babyface's blaster can increase the Scout's already insane speed up to 173%.
He has a few pistols too, like the Winger, which can increase the height of his jumps.
He can trade out these secondary pistols for these crazy drinks and liquids.
Drenching someone in Mad Milk or drinking a can of Criticola can help him deal extra damage to opponents.
And the Bonk Cola makes him temporarily invulnerable to any kind of attack.
Another secondary weapon is the Flying Guillotine, which is so strong it can even one-shot some foes.
However, Scout can't get that critical hit if the foes aren't stunned by the baseball from his Sandman weapon. This brings us to his melee equipment.
Ooh, big problem. I killed plenty of spies. The dime a dozen backstabbing scumbags. Like you! Ow!
No, this guy loves his bats. He'll even resort to hitting you with a club covered in spikes. You'll bleed out in no time.
He can make you bleed out from a distance as well by hitting snow globes at you with the Rap Assassin.
Scout will hit you with anything, even food. Candy canes, fish, a giant ham, you name it.
However, just because Scout is filled to the brim with weapons, it doesn't mean he can't hold his own.
He may be one of the scrawniest, lankiest, and weakest members of the team, but he's still done some pretty impressive stuff.
Like we mentioned, this guy is fast. At his quickest, the Scout can outrun bullets and rockets from the soldier.
Scout is physically strong enough to take out a bear with a single strike of a bone.
He is able to single-handedly take down the Heavy, who is strong enough to run around with a large minigun.
Eat it, fat boy.
He managed to survive being yanked and almost hung by Saxon Hale, an Aussie so strong he ripped a bear in two as a baby, killed a lion, and a Yeti so strong that no military weapons could destroy it.
Now that's a powerful neck. I guess getting in fights with his brothers helped him out a lot.
Indeed, Scout may be the weakest of his team, yet he's still strong enough to take 3 blasts from the soldier's rocket at the same time.
These stats, and even the stats of his weapons, can be upgraded when he's getting ready to fight robots.
His ammo and clip size can be increased, as well as the damage and fire rate.
His weapons can become strong enough to take down tanks.
His physical stats can be increased high enough to allow him to run twice as fast or jump twice as high.
Kinda makes you wonder why the little guy doesn't just take on Saxton Hale himself. He could do it.
Would you want to fight someone who single-handedly wiped out the Indonesian berserker shark and made them cry while he did it?
Good point. Let's just see him stick to Tracer.
Okay, crap, I gotta go. Screw you, though.
Lena Oxton was just a simple English kitchen maid who oddly became recognized for her fearless piloting skills.
An elite team of heroes known as Overwatch recruited her to test out some pretty cool equipment.
She was given the codename Tracer, and during the test of some new teleporting aircraft, the Matrix malfunctioned and Lena vanished.
They thought she was a goner until she returned months later, and then disappeared again.
Apparently, Tracer's molecules had become desynchronized from the flow of time.
She continued to keep fading in and out of existence until her gorilla pal Winston created a device that would keep her tethered to reality.
With this device, she gained the ability to control her own time and remain anchored to the present without worrying about vanishing again.
That's a good thing too. I couldn't bear to see that sweet booty vanish again.
I'm just going to ignore that pervy statement and move on.
Suit yourself. I'm gonna keep staring.
Anyways, with her new abilities, Tracer was able to help Overwatch in combat.
She carries 2 beautiful pulse pistols that rapid fire these cool little laser bullets.
She can throw pulse bombs which can create room-sized explosions to blow enemies backwards. However, it can hurt Tracer as well, despite the fact that she's the one who throws them.
So watch out and protect the booty.
If she ever slips up, she can simply correct her mistake with the recall ability, which allows her to reverse her own time 3 seconds back.
This also restores any health and ammo she lost in those 3 seconds. It only affects Tracer though, her enemies don't reverse with her.
She can skip forward a bit too with her blink ability, which lets her dash forward a bit in a flash of light.
These abilities are limited though, and repeated use will lead her to needing to recharge.
Not only that, but the device holding her to the present can be damaged, which affects her time-altering abilities.
Luckily, Tracer is very agile and tricky. She uses her abilities to the best of their potential by dashing and bouncing around the battlefield.
Her playful nature is a bit of a weakness though. Messing around with her enemies once led to Widowmaker succeeding in her assassination attempt.
There are times when you just can't afford to be cocky. But who wouldn't want to be cocky when you can do what Tracer can?
Despite failing to stop Widowmaker, Tracer is actually capable of fighting on par with her.
She can even damage Widowmaker, who took a punch from the Doomfist Gauntlet, which was said to be so strong it could level skyscrapers.
She's fast enough to react to a sniper bullet, and she's quicker than Soldier 76 who outran an explosion.
Even though it probably hurts like the dickens, she's still capable of taking the blast from her own pulse bomb.
She also survived being slammed against the brick wall of a building and the several story fall to the ground.
She's one tough and speedy cookie. Let's not forget about her insane agility either.
She is able to leap out of gigantic buildings and climb large staircases in seconds with her abilities.
Guns, speed, agility, booty. My kind of woman.
Oh, for crying out loud, Vic, you're hopeless.
Loosen up, pal. Go on and admit it. She's one fine babe and you know it.
Alright. I suppose she is rather cute.
Cute? This chick's banging, but close enough.
Let's see if she's quick enough to keep up with the scout.
It's time for a fictional fight!
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here. I figured I need to pop in here since we have some new viewers thanks to Animation Rewind giving me a shout out. Now in Animation Rewind's shout out you saw Akuma vs Ganondorf, which indeed had an animation. However, at the beginning of the series we didn't really have animators, so we just did narrations of the fight. And unfortunately this is what we're gonna do again. But the rest of the fights in this season, and hopefully the rest of the series, will have animations. We already have confirmed plan animators for that, so please just bear through this one more narration, and stick with us the rest of the series for cool animations. Now, let's go into Scout vs. Tracer. The battle begins in 2 Fort. Scout is stuck on guard duty while the rest of his team are out on a mission to steal a briefcase. All the roughhousing and violent acts that Scout and his team had caused had gotten the attention of Overwatch, and they sent Tracer to go and investigate. At the very moment Tracer took a step in 2 Fort, a baseball went zipping past her head. She turned and saw the Scout wielding his baseball bat. He didn't take too kindly to strangers, especially since he was on guard duty. Tracer didn't see him as much of a threat at first. She thought he was just some mischievous boy causing trouble, so she blinked up to him to give him a warning. But as soon as Scout saw that blink, he freaked out. It was unnatural, inhuman, so he grabbed his gun and pointed it right at Tracer. Luckily, she reacted fast and blinked out of the way as soon as Scout fired. It had just barely missed her. She figured she'd better take out this guy fast. So Tracer leaped in the air and threw a pulse bomb at the Scout. Scout pointed his scattergun right at it and shot the pulse bomb out of the sky. After seeing the huge explosion, he knew what to watch out for. Knowing that Tracer was a threat, Scout decided to get serious and pulled out the Rap Assassin to hit her from far away with snow globes. Tracer continued to blink and avoid the attacks until she ran out of charge and was hit by Scout's Mad Milk. Tracer stood still and let her guard down as she was confused at why Scout threw milk at her. When she wasn't paying attention, Scout hit her with one good shot from his scattergun, which damaged her heavily. Luckily, Tracer could still use her recall ability and undid the damage that Scout did to her, also reversing the Mad Milk effect. She grabbed her pulse pistols and began to rapid fire at Scout, chasing him all around 2 Fort. The lasers hurt like pins and needles being shot right at him. Fortunately, he was able to escape and drink his bonk cola. He took a large sip and swallowed just as Tracer had thrown a pulse bomb. When Tracer saw the explosion, she knew it was all over, until Scout leapt out completely untouched by her pulse bomb thanks to the effects of his bonk cola. Seeing that he was invincible, Tracer began to retreat using her blink ability to get away faster. Unfortunately, her blink ability ran out again, as did Scout's bonk cola, so he could now attack. He got a direct hit on Tracer with the ball from his Sandman and stunned her. He then did a front flip to look cool and stuff, and threw a flying guillotine at her head, defeating her once and for all. The winner is the Scout.
Well, looks like the cutie couldn't get away quick enough.
Well, goodbye potential future wife. Hera, what went wrong?
Well, I guess we should start with their most iconic attributes, their speed.
Now that I think about it, I see what the problem was. While they're both bullet timers, Tracer's speed is dependent on her blink ability.
Right. Tracer relies on a limited dashing source for her speed, while Scout's dashing is natural and constant.
He can run as long as he wants, and he's more than fast enough to catch up to Tracer and finish her off while she's recharging.
Plus, Scout's arsenal is 10 times larger than Tracer's. All she has are pulse pistols and a pulse bomb.
Scout is able to take shots from laser-based weapons, and he's taken 3 blasts from soldier rockets at the same time, so the pulse bomb wouldn't be a problem.
Not to mention, Scout has several ways of avoiding her bullets and bombs anyways.
His speed and jumps would help him evade the bullets, while his bonk cola would help him take the pulse bomb.
His Mad Milk and Criticola would help him deal extra damage to Tracer as well.
And considering the bullets in his weapons are strong enough to destroy robots, one good shot to the device on Tracer's chest would easily malfunction it.
Especially since it's out in the open and unprotected. If Scout were to destroy that, Tracer would fade away from reality.
I guess Scout wins this fight in the blink of an eye.
The winner is the Scout.
Oh man, you would not believe how much this hurts.
Archimedes?
Get ready for the next battle.
I'm the Avatar.
I'm the Avatar!
I'm the Avatar. I'm the Avatar.
I'm the Avatar.
I am the Dragon Warrior.